so
Yeah.
you would think it would count down.
Yeah, I thought it did start like at 5 or 10 minutes, but
Yeah, I did too.
I'm
Let's hope that it works this time.
hoping. So what I'll do is I will. I have to hit a couple things here for us to start. So I'll have to hit start streaming and start recording, and I'll just say, okay,
Okay.
and then you do your thing.
All right, no problem. Oh, here we go. Going live in 2.54 minutes.
Okay.
So it did. So after it goes live, you're just going to let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, because I have to hit stream and start record.
Okay.
Even though it's shown like that, I still have to hit that on the software.
Okay.
We're coordinating like 3 different softwares together here.
Oh, I can't imagine. It's like, yeah, and I've got 3 piles of stuff here, so, and I had to turn my phone off, so, yeah.
You know what?
This is a really,
Can you say a really quick prayer that we do this the way God wants us to?
Absolutely. Father Jesus, we praise you. We love you. We thank you. We just ask for your blessing upon tonight's class or tonight's chat, and that you just be glorified in every possible way through our conversation, through the information, just through the guests that are there or those that will see it later. Father, Lord, we just want nothing more than to glorify you and to just bring everything to you. You gave us this information. We thank you for it. We love you. In Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
So 1:48. On your end, does it tell you when it's live?
I brought up a Facebook. So yeah.
Okay.
Like incognito that you can't see it. Because you can't see my Facebook page up, right?
No,
Okay.
I can't. Well, no, I can't. I mean, it may be on, I don't see go to webinar.
No. I mean, on the screen that you can see.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't see.
And then you're going to be there if there's any questions asked, right?
Yep, as soon as I get finished with what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to go right into, and then I'll bring you right in. You'll know when it's time. So what do we got down here? 46 seconds. I'm going to hit record. "32 seconds. I guess you can see that, right? 9, 8, 7. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes it kind of nice.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to Health and Harmony Herbal Chat. This is Victoria.
And this is Mary.
Mary and I are both traditional naturopaths. And a traditional naturopath avoids diagnosing diseases or prescribing medication. As a matter of fact, the principles which guide traditional naturopathy lead to general improvement in health. So let me remind you that the content that you will hear in this presentation is for informational purposes only. It's not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any ailment. And all the statements provided are based on practitioner experience and are not regulated or approved by the FDA. The suggestions are exactly that, suggestions, and may be implemented with our permission. However, it is suggested that you seek guidance from your qualified healthcare professional before beginning any health program. Through the years, Mary and I have enjoyed co-teaching with our combined 50-plus years in natural health, and we thought that it would be fun as well as informative to share the things that we've experienced over time. And in doing so, it's our desire to share simple truths with you and others in the hopes of bringing information to you that will assist you when it comes to making health decisions for you, your family, as well as those you care for. So with that in mind, we are going to go ahead and get started with our chat with a short discussion on this month's current event topic, which is CBD oil. Now,
Yay.
I want to start with a little background history regarding CBD, the legislation in the United States. But before I go into that, I want to ask you a question. Did you know that the cannabinoids, which are the constituents found in marijuana, actually exist naturally in the human body in the form of endocannabinoids? These endocannabinoids regulate pain management as well as mood. So where marijuana works with the endocannabinoid system in the body to regulate levels of pain and anxiety, it gives the ability to alleviate a wide range of disorders and diseases. Okay, so I thought you might be a little bit interested in that small tidbit of information, but I want to clarify something. In my Christian faith, and I can say that Mary probably follows along with this, I personally believe that every herb upon the earth has a purpose. I also find that it's interesting that we have similar attributes within the body, our human body, as does the marijuana constituents. Now, I do not, however, advocate the use of recreational marijuana. It's my personal belief that anything, including food, can be wrongly used and will do grave harm to the human body. So with that being said, I want to just go on into what I want to talk about tonight. It may be hard to believe, but there was a time when hemp and marijuana were not criminalized or illegal. Matter of fact, many early American farmers grew hemp, and hemp was considered an agricultural commodity. So commercial hemp can be grown as a seed and a fiber. It can also be used as a variety of products like cosmetics, textiles, paper, and construction materials. But in 1937, because hemp and marijuana come from the same plant, Cannabis sativa, they got lumped together under the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. This law was designed to discourage the recreational use of marijuana, but it also imposed heavy taxes on those growing cannabis and hemp for other purposes. So the farmers simply stopped growing hemp. It was in 1970 cannabis got classified as a Schedule I drug. And because of the confused thinking that both hemp and CBD were the same as marijuana, all strains of cannabis continue to be classified together, as did THC and CBD. But when the federal government passed the Controlled Substance Act in 1970, hemp was included along with marijuana as a Schedule I drug. Now let me say that a Schedule I drug means that CBD oil is in the same category as the drug heroin. And that's a little insane to me. It's like no one's taking the time to go in and take a look at being able to see that there are different strains in different parts, because you can actually take from the marijuana plant, you can take hemp as well as CBD out of it. It's two different substances. In 1990, a few states enacted state legislation to allow hemp production. However, due to the federal ban and the publicity of being a Schedule I drug, industrial hemp production didn't make the cut. But it wasn't until 2014, under the Trump administration, that hemp was legalized again through a pardon me?
I said, yay.
Yeah,
I
right?
want to say something because I can't chat very long. You know that. I don't know how they can take a plant and say there's a drug. What if they decide one day to say, okay, I love cherries. Cherries are now illegal. Who gives them a right to say that?
Right. And I guess it's because when they were back in the farmers in the earlier times, the farmers were not only making and using the hemp as seeds and flax and stuff for different materials, there were other people out there smoking it for recreational use, and it became a problem.
And I do agree that I don't believe in hemp I mean, marijuana as a recreational either. Just like I don't
Right.
eat cherries for recreation wear, you know?
Exactly.
Too much
Exactly.
of anything is bad for you, but it's just
Yep.
insane that they considered it a drug at one time.
Exactly. But it's nice to know that in 2014, it's called the Farm Bill. This bill defined industrial hemp as cannabis stevia containing a 0.3% of THC or less, which is the allowed legal amount in 45 states today, currently. But since the 2014 Farm Act, hemp production began to blossom. Now get this, since that time of its legalization in 2014, as of June of 2018, U.S. hemp products have made over $700 million in sales annually. That's yearly. That's a
Wow.
lot of money. I know. It's like but look at it. It's in everything. We take a look. It's in our hand lotion. It's in shampoo. It's everywhere now. So, thanks to that time. And it was someone who saw that there was a difference. So it just means that, but every time something like that takes place, the federal government has to capitalize on it. And if they can't capitalize on it, it's not going to happen. So they
Mhm.
found that there was money in it. So of course it was legalized and passed. It was thanks to the success of state research programs, lawmakers were able to purpose and pass the Hemp Farming Act in December of 2018. Well, that act was included in the Farm Bill, officially known as the Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018. And I know you probably won't remember all this, but it's nice to understand where it started and the fact that it was not criminalized or illegal in the beginning, but because somebody had this wild idea that it was part of the Schedule 1 type of drug, and they put marijuana with heroin, which is, if you know the drugs at all, there's a big difference.
Oh,
Anyone
yeah.
with a little common sense knows that. Okay, but anyway, that bill, that Improvement Act, that Agriculture Improvement Act, defines hemp as the plant Cannabis sativa L. So all they've done is added the capital L at the end of its actual name. And any part of the plant, that means seeds, all the derivatives, the extracts, whether they're growing or not to exceed more than 0.3% of any dry weight basis. So that's the legal part. But here's the thing, is that even though it's legal on the federal nationwide level, which and hemp, that includes CBD. As of January 2019, the legal status of CBD is left to each state. And currently, there are 47 states that allow CBD oil to be used medicinally. And the two that do not, of course, I live in one of them, Idaho and Nebraska. But the other one that's unsure or undecided is South Dakota. So there's the three. So many of you have followed Dr. Mary and myself. If you've followed us for very long, you know that we are very much an advocate for CBD oil based on all that the CBD oil has been proven to do physically as well as emotionally. So numerous studies have proven great success with epilepsy, depression, sleep disorders, skin problems, cancer, inflammatory diseases, pain, blood pressure, cholesterol, autoimmune diseases, diabetes, anxiety, arthritis, and chronic pain of different types. The list goes on and on. I could go on forever. I mean, the research that I was doing just continued on. Now I'm going to talk about one state in particular, and that's Utah. Utah passed in 2018 Utah's Hemp and Cannabinoid Act, and it defined and clearly legalized industrial hemp, CBD, in various forms, in the forms of tablets, gelatin, cubes, tinctures, things like that. Also in 2018, Utah legalized medical marijuana through what they had as a Prop 2 on their ballot. Recreational marijuana is still considered illegal in the state of Utah. Now, Utah also has legalized medical CBD. It passed this act legalizing all of this but with at least 15% of CBD, the prescribed to interact with epilepsy patients. So that's how it got in there, because they were using it. Matter of fact, Utah was one of the very first states, not to, taking it away from CBD oil and hemp for a minute. Utah was one of the very first states that was using essential oils in the community hospitals there. So it doesn't surprise me that they were prescribing hemp and CBD for epilepsy patients. But my question, the reason why I talk about Utah is, my question is if Utah is a legal state for CBD and hemp, then why is it that Nature Sunshine, this is a company that Mary and I both use for, she's going to go into that. That's what this is about, is talking about supplementation and stuff. But why does Nature Sunshine not sell the CBD oil instead of having an affiliate company based in Texas sell it for us, for them? Well, I actually called this company, and that company's name is Kemp. And the little gal, the representative there, she was as sweet as could be, and she explained that the regulations allow for NSP to sell directly. However, the hoops that they would need to go through will take extensive amount of time as well as money. And since NSP is doing all they can to listen to us as distributors and those around, they have become, basically, Kemp is an affiliate of NSP. So what this means for us as distributors is that we will receive QV points. And for any member of NSP, if you go out and you purchase and you order online and you get the CBD oil, you too will get your QV, which is, what does it mean?
Qualifying points.
Qualifying points.
Or value. Qualifying value.
Okay. So in those points we earn, and then we get free products and things like that. And some of the distributors, you get paid based off of how many QV points you get at the end of the month. Anyway, of course, while I was talking to this representative, I was concerned about potency and purity of the product. And this representative shared that NSP is very involved with the potency as well as the purity, and that they're and they'll have 4 products for us. So Kemp has brought in a third-party testing lab to assure its standards within the parameters of NSP. So NSP's medical advisory board will be very involved with this area. NSP will make sure that the testing is up to par, as well as the purity. This product is going to be GMO free. It's going to have all the same standards as Nature Sunshine, and that really made a big impact for me. The other thing is I asked her about potency, because Nature Sunshine has what I call physician strength potency, and all of their products, because they have to stay within the legal limits, will be at 0.3%, and that means that there will be that much THC. That's a standard across the board federally. Now, that because when you're extracting the oils from the marijuana plant, you cannot extract it to a 0%. So they stay within that parameter. In other words, it probably will not show up on a drug test, but you should, if you are taking it and you work for the federal government or anyone that does testing, you need to talk to your employer and let them know that you are taking a legal, CBD oil that does have a 0.3% THC. And that way, if it does show up, if their tests are really strong and it shows up, they'll understand and they'll have that already documented. Well, when can we get this CBD oil? The 1st of November, they're not sure of the actual date, but the first part of November, Kemp will have what they call a pre-sale grand opening for the product sales for all of us. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to actually try it. I do, even though Idaho is illegal for CBD oil, we still can get it as long as it's below the 0.3%. So I'm hoping that Kemp will be able to sell it to me, because I live in a state that does not legalize it. by the paperwork, I guess. So if you live in South Dakota, which is undecided, Idaho, or what was the other one I said?
Nebraska?
Nebraska, it's a possibility you will not be able to have it sent to you.
I want to say
So,
something too. A lot of
uh-huh,
times, I don't know about you, but I rarely look what's on the bottle. If it
right.
tells you to take four capsules a day, I
Hmm.
often take more than that. I
Right.
probably, if I worked in a place that I would be drug tested, or if I was going to operate large machinery, something like that, I probably wouldn't make a dose on this
Right.
oil.
Right. I agree. And it's not because it's really how your body breaks stuff down. And if you tuned into last month's topic on pH, you kind of got an idea of how the body breaks things down through pH and in the digestive system. But I wouldn't take a chance, and I would just let them know, or at least be able to document it, because your employer will ask you, we found this substance, do you have documentation for that? And you either have to have a prescription, or you just bring in the bottle and say, yeah, this is a legal dosage here. So, and you should be fine. Okay, so that basically is what I wanted to talk about as far as CBD. I wanted to give you a little history, a little bit of information about the fact that our body actually naturally has some constituents of the cannabinoids and the different thing to work right into Kemp, because I'm really excited since we're going to be talking about supplementation. I was really wanting to bring in the fact that we're going to get some CBD oil, and I am super excited about that. So, because this month's topic is on supplementation, I'm going to turn the time over to Mary. So,
Okay.
go for it.
Well, I do want to say something about the CBD oil. As you
Mm-hmm.
said, we have talked about, wow, CBD oil is good for you. And people would say, where do I get it? And for
Right.
the longest time, I hem-hawed around it. I don't know. You'll have to do the research for yourself, because there's
Right.
so many things you have to research. And we're going to talk about that in this next part. But I never had the time to give it. I mean, we're talking many hours, maybe 100 hours I did before I felt satisfied and say Nature Sunshine is what is a good company, because you do all kind of research. And it is so good that Nature Sunshine finally came out with it. I wish they had done it a couple of years ago, but I'm glad at least they have it now.
Timing is everything. It's the right time because people are really understanding the benefits right now, I think, of the CBD oil. So this is a real good time for it. And you said you put 100 hours in. I put 5 years into looking. I am so OCD on stuff. That's why Nature Sunshine became my choice of product.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
Well, as you said, we're going to talk about that tonight, about not all herbs are created equal. And I don't just take some herbs. I had a lady who was going to France, and she said, I don't have any way of keeping the super omega-3 cold while I travel and while I'm there. Should I just get any kind of fish oil? And I kind of cringed, and I said, you know what? I wouldn't take any at all till you come back. It's going to be 2 weeks. Let it be 2 weeks. But I would not take something inferior, because I have seen people that have had reactions. Long time ago, oh man, I don't even know how many years ago, maybe excess of 25 years ago, there's a little boy that one of my students, it was her friend's grandson, ended up in the hospital because he had taken an herb that he got, I think she said from Walmart, but don't quote me because I don't want to get sued. But he got really, really sick, and they put him in the hospital. They found out that there was E. coli in the herbs, that evidently they fertilized the herbs with cow manure, and they harvested it too quickly afterwards, and there was still some live coli in that, and the little boy got really very sick. He didn't die, but he got very sick. So there's a lot of reasons to make sure you're taking the good stuff. And I do Nature Sunshine, and I do like maybe 2 or 3 other things but I don't just go buy anything. Never. And I'm one of the cheapest human beings you ever want to meet. So if I can do it, you know that it's important. So things we're going to cover mostly is minerals, vitamins, and then the herbs itself. First, we're going to talk about the organic minerals versus inorganic minerals. And a lot of times we think of it as the same. The medical profession, the scientists think of it as the same, but it's really not. And this is one of my favorite examples. This is supposed to be an atom. There's a proton and neutrons in the nucleus. And then you have this electron spin around. In the human body, the electron spins to the right. and so does organic, like foods. But inorganic metals and minerals spin to the left. And it acts differently in the body. Although it's a mirror image and the exact same molecules, the spin of the electron is different. And that means everything, because whether or not the body can use it depends on the spin of the electron. This is supposed to be raisins. They look kind of shriveled up. These raisins contain a lot of iron. If somebody is very anemic, just because of iron itself, they could take raisins and that would help bring their iron levels up. This is a railroad tie. It's also made of iron. When you go to the medical profession and you get, or even some minerals that you buy in a store, in a health food store or an herb shop, will have something called ferric acid. And what they do is they take a piece of ferrous or iron, they pour acid on it, and when it rusts, they scrape the rust off, they put it in a pill, and people take it. When people take this, they end up complaining about how their stool will become darker and black, how it causes constipation. Matter of fact, there will be a warning on it that says not to take over a certain amount because it can be toxic and cause liver damage. However, there is no warning signs on raisins because raisins do not blacken the stool. Raisins are non-toxic, and if you eat too many raisins, trust me, you will not be constipated. Too many raisins actually loosen the stool, so it reacts differently in the body. When you buy a multi-mineral, you want to make sure that it's all made from foods or a food base. And elementary minerals are the same. Elementary minerals mean that in Utah or some place it's really dry, plants died and were packed down, and they never turned into stone or into compost and dirt because it was so dry there. But they're still made of plants. So everything should be made of plants that we eat. Because what happens, these brilliant plants that we have, they can take iron that is inorganic, and as it sucks it up and produces it and makes it into its body parts, it changes the spin of the electron so that we can eat it and our body will do good. So you can suck on a railroad spike all you want. It's not going to do anything for your iron level. But the raisins will. Say another example is there's a lot of calcium in cement. But if you lick your sidewalk, it's not going to do for you the same as if you ate a lot of broccoli or things that contain natural calcium in it.
Hey, Mary?
Yeah?
Do you want to take a minute to check your software and different things? Everyone is telling me that you are choppy and they can barely understand you. I hear you just fine, but they're not. And I just wonder if it's something in the 3 programs you're running.
I just checked, and they're all going up to where they should go up. You know, like the level little green
Uh-huh.
bar that goes up. So I don't know
Okay.
why.
I am also recording, so we may have to figure out how to get it to you so you can.
At all time, we will post it to the Health and Harmony group, and I'll put it on YouTube.
Okay. So I'm not sure if anyone heard that, but she's going to post it to Health and Harmony as well as YouTube. And if it's choppy, we'll see it because we'll hear it. And if not, then I am recording on GoToWebinar as well, so I can always send it to her and she can do her magic with it. Okay.
Do I sound choppy to you too, or just the other?
No, you do not. It's just coming. That's why I'm wondering if it's your software. So can somebody let me know if I'm choppy? Somebody text me or on Facebook. I'm actually having to use my phone. I can't see my Facebook on.
Okay.
Okay, so can
Well, at least
somebody
they
let
can
me
hear
know?
us this time. We'll get it.
Right.
We'll be doing this so smoothly later on. It's going to be like watching ABC or CBS.
That's our hope.
That's our
Yep. Okay.
Alrighty. Vitamins are the same way. You know, actually, I don't use vitamins except for vitamin C, because the body should be able to produce every single vitamin known to man except for vitamin C, if we eat the right food and our body's good enough. And that's what I usually do. But for some people, like if I was going to have a baby, which trust me, I'm not going to have a baby soon, I would probably go on a natural prenatal vitamin. And if I did, I would make sure that, again, the source of what it's made of is natural. So if it says, for vitamin A, if it says fish oils or it says lemongrass or beta carotene, then I know that that is a natural source. Acetate or palmitate are not. They're the synthetic force. These are chemicals they mix together that will look like a mirror image of what vitamin A is. B vitamins, brewer's yeast, rice bran, the molasses, things like that, brewer's yeast. This is what you want to see in your vitamins, not these chemicals. If you see something like thiamine, that just means B vitamin, B1 I think it is. So that's different. But if you have the hydrochloride after it, then you know it's not natural. Then vitamin C. Rose hips, especially for us people that are in a cold in the wintertime, rose hips is much better for us than citrus, even citrus vitamin C. So these are the things, I don't believe in eating soybeans, but these are the things that would help us. So go for the natural, because the natural has a vibration that brings up the health of the body. The unnatural or synthetic will either do nothing to improve the vibration or it will lower the vibration. It also acts like a toxin in the body. Like taking a little poison with your herbs.
And over time, people go, oh, it's just a little bit. But over time, if the body's not able to get rid of it, it builds up and becomes very toxic, and it puts off a toxic gas and then poisons our system, basically.
Absolutely. And not only that, we have so many other toxins we cannot avoid. That's in our air, that's in our water, you know.
Right.
That I'm not going to pay for something to put in my body that's toxic too.
Right. Exactly.
That we have complete control over. Now this is the biggest part. This is the part I really love. Is all herbs are not created equal either. You need to make sure you find a company. I'm not saying Nature Sunshine is the only good company out there, but it's one of the very, very few. I used to suggest, when I started with Nature Sunshine 30 years ago, I used to suggest 6 different herb companies. Enrich, Excel, I don't remember them all, Eclectic Institute. And slowly, whenever the herb boom came, they were offered a lot of money, and they were sold to companies who no longer kept the standards up. Now, primarily, and I'm talking like maybe of my herbs, probably 99.9% of it is Nature Sunshine now.
Wow.
And they don't pay me to say that, by the way.
Right.
But they are very dedicated to the quality control. There are 300 different tests that they do on every batch that comes in. Not only they do it, there's a third party that also tests. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say they also have I think they have 9 members, but it may be 7 to 9 members, medical professionals on their medical advisory board. And they're from all walks of medicine.
And they keep, for every batch that's tested, they keep files and a sample of it in case there's ever a question, because who knows, somewhere down the road they might find out something called squickadoik, and it's not good for you. Well, they'll be able to look back and see if you ever took squickadoik. So they keep a sample and a file on everything. If you call up and have a problem, in 30 years, I had 3 people now that Chinese stress relief kept them awake. It doesn't do it to anybody else in all those 30 years, but there's been 3 people. And Nature Sunshine said, we'd like for you to send in a bottle. And they interviewed these people to see if it was their own body chemistry. And as far as we can determine, it was because they were allergic to something, like a food allergy. There's nothing you can do to protect that, you know. But they keep the batches on hand and these files since they started. They also only use reputable vendors. I'm sure you've heard this before, but I got my herbology, master herbalist, off of an American Indian named Butch. And he used to be wildcrafting for Nature's Herbs. Whenever he didn't have enough golden seal, they'd say, you know what, how about just putting a little bit of bloodroot in it, or put a little bit of this in it, to kind of stretch it out because they needed a certain amount. And he was willing to do it because he said, they're both good for you. But you want a company that works with vendors that will not compromise their integrity. When they say there's something in it, you know for a fact that's what's in it. But there's so much even more than that. Did you know where something's grown and when it's grown makes a difference? If you have ever made your own garden and picked a nice juicy tomato and bit into it, you know it tastes different than if you go to the store and you get a tomato. Even if you get a vine ripened tomato, the good stuff, it does not taste the same, because it also has different nutrients in it. It doesn't taste the same because it doesn't have all the stuff that it needs. They might have soil that's not as rich, or it might not get the right sunlight. long time ago, Nature Sunshine, for like 9 months, you could not buy chickweed from Nature Sunshine. Because at that time, almost all of the world's chickweed came from around Chernobyl, where they had that nuclear accident.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And a friend of mine says, well, I got this from GNC. And I sent it to someone, and he said, I don't know where you got this. If it's from Nature Sunshine, you let us know, because I just sent him a capsule. He said there's radioactive isotopes in it. And it was on the market for 9 or 10 months on GNC. I took it to the GNC store in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And I told the guy, I said, look, this is the letter that was sent to me saying that this is radioactive. First, I'm thinking, how did it get on their shelves if it was radioactive? Didn't they test it? Then I'm thinking, sorry about that. Then I'm thinking, he needs to take it off the shelves. And I said, you're going to be taking it off the shelf? He says, no, they didn't recall it. And they never took it off the shelves. He saw documentation proving that it had some radiation in it, and he didn't take it off the shelf. It can sometimes be a pain in the butt that Nature Sunshine has things on back order. The herbs that I absolutely cannot live without, I usually keep about a month's supply ahead. Because it's not uncommon, several times a year, you can't get this, you can't get that, because they found an impurity that it will not meet their standards. And it is a pain in the butt, but I know when I take it, it's fine. I don't have to worry about any of this stuff happening. As Victoria said, all Nature Sunshine is non-GMO. Even their sweetener uses non-GMO corn, which is really hard to get. Then you have to find out what variety is used. Nature Sunshine doesn't just say echinacea. It says echinacea purpurea, because that is the one that has the most oomph in it. There's several different kinds of echinacea. It should either be organic or, even better yet, wildcrafted, picked from where nature planted it. These vendors go around and they know where to find it, deep in the woods or in the exact spot where it can grow for the most pure form and the highest potency. Then you need to make sure they either extract it or dry it properly. If you go to the store and get parsley flakes, it looks almost like a dark brown a dark green or a brown. But Nature Sunshine parsley in the capsules is a bright green, because they don't put it in what's virtually a microwave to hurry and quick dry it. It's dried under better techniques, so it keeps the full smell, flavor, and potency. Know your supplier's integrity. This I put in here because a lot of people are getting Nature Sunshine products from Amazon. And I don't like that because, for one thing, what they're doing is illegal. Whenever you join Nature Sunshine, you agree to the policies and procedures that you will not sell to things like Craigslist or Amazon. So right off the bat, you are buying it from someone who does not have integrity, or they wouldn't be selling it on that venue. But another thing can happen. You don't know if they might have tampered with it. Years ago, and I don't know how many people here are as old as I am, they had a scare where people took Tylenol, and there was, I think there was cyanide in the Tylenol, and people were dying. Well, you don't know. If it goes from Nature Sunshine to a third party, you don't know who those people are. especially whenever they don't use their real name, because what they're doing is illegal. Well, not illegal, it's unethical. So they don't use their real names. Another thing is they could put it in their garage where the temperature is 120, where the herbs will have gotten broken down and bound. They change the bond, so when you take them, you don't get the full benefit from them. You don't know how they have supplied or stored these supplies. Then you want to make sure that you know what parts are used and whether or not they use fillers. If I ran the FDA, boy, things would be different. I wish you could run for that. I would do that. This is something that happened a long time ago. There is an herb company called Frontier Herbs. And a lot of people said about they had pretty good quality. We got a book, and I do have a Xerox of the original book, but it looked really shoddy, so I didn't put it on here. I just did this on a computer. But they sold Dong Quai root. They sold it in capsule form, and then they sold it in thin slices. They just took the Dong Quai and they just kind of shredded it. It looked kind of like Party Arco. If they powdered it, put it in capsules, and then put it in a bottle, to get 1 to 4 pounds, it would be $8.85 a pound. To get 1 to 4 pounds of the root, just the root, without putting capsules, without having to grind it up, it was $42.50 a pound. You could not tell me that it was nothing but the root in the capsules. Either that or they are the dumbest company on the face of this earth. Because it takes more money to powder it and put in capsules than it does just to put in a bottle and send it to you. When I wrote to them and I said, first I tried calling them and they gave me the runaround. So I wrote to them and I said, why is it that you're only paying about 1/5 the price in the capsule per pound than the plain root per pound? And they sent me a big thank you for your inquiry and stuff like that. Really, it said absolutely nothing. But the following time that the catalog came up, it didn't tell you how many pounds were in the capsules. It just said capsules. So they had to put some kind of filler in there. And they can do that. Let's say just the rhizomes are good for something, just the root. They can put the leaves, they can put the flower, although these are not all the same plant. But they can put any part of it in and call it 100% valerian or 100% Dong Quai. And it is. It's just Dong Quai. But the root's the only part that has a benefit to it. It's like, say you want to eat cherries for your kidneys. You have a kidney problem, you want to nourish your kidneys. So you get some cherries, and you take some of the leaves and the bark and the branches, and you chew them all up and you put them in a capsule. That's not the same as eating just the berry, just the cherry berry.
So basically you're getting filler. It's still the same. They can legally call it that because you're using it, but the other part that you can't use that has no benefit to it is basically a filler.
Right. So what you wanted to say is, it will say glycohash rhizomes.
Right.
It will tell you what part. A good company would do that.
Absolutely.
A shady company does not.
Very interesting.
Okay, now you
okay, well,
questions?
No, there's no questions there. Like I said, most everyone here is having issues listening because you're in and out, in and out. So I really think it's your software. But I just want to kind of very quickly recap and add some extra stuff to that, because when Mary was talking about the synthetic or the inorganic to the organic, inorganic is basically something the body cannot break down. Now, what saddens me is I'll go to Sam's Club, Costco, whatever you want to call it, and you go through there and you see these little 70, 80-year-old husband and wife with their little cart, and they've got huge lots of Centrum vitamins, and I cringe, and it's like, it's not my place to say anything, so I don't. But there has been a dramatic increase in the use of nutritional supplements over the last, few decades, really. And more and more people, because of the Western medicine is not working, and we're seeing you listen to advertisements on TV and different things, and you've got 15 minutes of them trying to sell you a drug with 150 death threats, basically, with the side effects. And it's like, who wants to take that kind of thing? So people are turning to alternative means to prevent and treat their diseases and their illnesses and the way they feel. But there's a common belief held by population that all supplements are created equal. And this has led a lot of people to seek the best value and not the best quality. And our whole point tonight was to share with you, there is a difference in supplementation. There are different grades of companies from A to, is it A to F?
Yeah,
I believe. And Nature's Sunshine is one of the, I believe, 10 companies in the United States that are A companies. I do know that Nature's Sunshine got the America's Most Trustworthy Company in 2013. They got the Healthiest Company in 2018, and they are an A-rated company with BBB since December 2015. If you look on their website, it has been updated to actually today's date, and it gives you a profile and everything and background on that company. And that's one of the reasons that why we chose this company for our supplements that we use with our clients when we work. I want to just bring in that supplements are typically available in 4 different categories: a pharmaceutical grade, a medical grade, a cosmetic or nutritional grade, and a feed or agricultural grade. Now, very quickly, I will go through and just tell you, I'll break them down. The pharmaceutical grade is the highest quality grade of vitamins, meaning that the purity, the dissolution, the absorption meet the highest regulatory standard verified by an outside party. Where pharmaceutical grade vitamins may be available without a prescription, they're typically only sold by healthcare practitioners or naturopaths or a company like Nature's Sunshine. Medical grade vitamins are also a high grade vitamin, that although they may not meet all the standards of the pharmaceutical grade vitamins. Guess where the prenatal vitamins typically fall into? The medical grade. It blows my mind that they're not in the highest grade. So it's interesting. Even though they are a high-grade vitamin, they don't necessarily fall under the highest standards.
Can I tell you something else?
Absolutely.
There was a lady who she was pregnant, she brought all her things she's taken, and she got a prenatal vitamin, and I don't even remember the name of the company, or I'd say it out loud, but they had vitamin A in there. And as you know, vitamin A, taken as vitamin A, like anytime you take a prenatal vitamin, you should always make sure it has beta carotene instead of vitamin A, because vitamin A has been proven to cause birth defects. They didn't even know that, and they're making a supplement that's going to grow a baby. Right.
It blows my mind where some of these companies feel, like you were saying, the GNC, and I'm not here to bash any company, and I'm not for any malicious reason, but they don't sell even your local health food stores and your grocery stores that have health food sections. They may have all of the goods that you need as far as the foods and things, but you're not going to get your supplements there and they're not, I mean, you can get your supplements there. They're not going to be of good quality. Matter of fact, they're going to probably be of the lowest grade possible. And that's where I'm going to go into the cosmetic or nutritional grade. This is where your health food stores also fit into. The cosmetic or nutritional grade supplements are typically sold in health food stores. These supplements might not always, listen to this, might not always be tested for absorption, dissolution, or purity. I mean, you could have bug parts and all kinds of other stuff in it for all I know.
10% bug parts.
Right. And that's common knowledge. You can do the research. It's out there. So, but additionally, these subjects in that cosmetic or nutritional grade do not always have the same concentration. Like Mary was talking, that just because it's Don Quai, they were putting everything but what was the root was the nutritional part where you're getting it. So they're just putting all of whatever they can. So you're not getting the active ingredients sometimes even listed on the label. And we all know, some of us have heard before, and we talked about this a year or two ago in some of the classes that we were in, about Target, Walmart, Walgreens, and GNC were in a class action suit because they found that there was the active ingredients that was listed on the label weren't there. And so, and then I want to make this, I was challenged at one time publicly on Facebook, and someone asked me to take Walmart brand magnesium that they got for $8.88 and asked me to look up the contents in it and let them know what it was in it, and then they challenged me to find out to put that with Nature Sunshine. So I did. I looked all these ingredients up. There were like 15 of them, different things. Most of them all cancer. They were polymers. They were polys, whatever.
Did you say talc?
And talc. These are all cancer-causing agents. I don't know about you, but I don't need any extra help with breaking down, my body and putting more stress on my immune system. So anyway, I wrote back publicly because she did it publicly. Then I wrote back and told her all of these names and what they were and what they caused. Most of them cancer, some lung respiratory issues, things like that. And then she asked, she goes, well, what about Nature Sunshine? So I put in magnesium. She goes, no, what is in Nature Sunshine? So I put in one more time, magnesium. Well, I left out I think there was cellulose, which is on plants.
Fiber. Yeah, it's a fiber.
Yeah, it's the fiber coating on a plant, and you have to be able to break that down. So they use that cellulose as a filler, basically, or a fiber.
Binder. It's a binder.
Yeah, a binder. Thank you. And so, that's all that was in there. And anyway, so she walked away angry because she thought that she could save money by buying Walmart $8.88 instead of this one over here for $10 or $12. I don't know. So you have to be really careful. My point being is that there is a big difference. And the last category is feed or agricultural grade supplements. And these are produced for veterinary use, and patients should not usually use them. Well, I know a lot of people for a long time in the 80s were using MSM, and they were getting it at the veterinary clinics and using agricultural grade MSM. So you just have to be very careful. And that kind of bothers me because I have pets and I love my little man. And, I don't know. I give him Nature Sunshine products,
yeah,
the ones
too.
that I use them just for him as well. I just don't see why I should put inferior things into not only my dog, my children, my grandchildren, myself, my husband, those people who I care about, and my clients. So these are why it's important that we know about form, purity, and bioavailability. It is really important. And the bioavailability, all that means is it's the degree or the rate the substance is absorbed in the body. So somebody had asked me that.
I had someone say, you're saying all this toot and horn about Nature Sunshine. And this does sound like Nature Sunshine put us up to it. I promise you it did not. They did not. Mm-mm. But they said, yeah, you go on and on about Nature Sunshine, about their quality. I said, I'm involved with Nature Sunshine because of their quality.
Exactly.
It's not like I like Nature Sunshine, then I think, well, I'll just start bragging about their quality. That is the only reason why I'm in it,
Hmm.
is
Yep.
because of the quality. I sell my herbs at wholesale prices,
Hmm.
and or I have people order right from the company. I do it. I mean, I'm not saying I make no money at all, but only a fraction of what we would have make. But I do it
Right.
because I want to help people, and the reason why I used to cringe about saying CBD oil and letting people go out on their own to try to find a company is because I would feel horrible if someone took something and had an adverse reaction to it or ended up getting cancer because of it. Man,
Right.
I just can't imagine.
So one reason why I'm really happy that Nature Sunshine is going to
Yeah.
offer CBD oil, because again, it's a place where you can go that I 100% have no fear whatsoever sending any of my clients, any of my family, or myself in using their products. And you're right. It does sound like this is a push for Nature Sunshine, this segment, and it's really not. Here's what the deal is that we wanted to give you information so that you can make your own decisions. You don't have to use Nature Sunshine. I'm just telling you what the facts. We're just giving you facts and truths and facts that many times we don't get to hear. And it's not like we're tooting, because I have some very good friends that have an herb store, but I'm not going to push them because I don't feel that the grade is up to par. Let's put it that way. So,
And
I'm
not,
like Mary.
can I say one more thing too? And
Yeah.
it's not just herbs and supplements. You're talking about health food stores. I have already gone to health food stores that they will have food there and they'll use canola oil.
Hmm.
So even some of their foods that they have are not healthy for you.
Well, when I teach classes here locally, my clients have heard this 100 times, and I'm sure they're tired of hearing it, but I tell them, just because you walk into our local health food stores, don't think that everything on the shelf is healthy. They're not in it for health reasons. They're in it for money.
Or they don't know. You know, like I know someone that had a health food store that was selling carbonated cranberry juice. I said, wait
Hmm.
a minute. Phosphoric acid is what carbonates it. That's the part that does the big part of the damage.
Hmm.
That's not healthy. And people are getting these for these kids thinking, oh, this is a really healthy alternative. And it's not.
Hmm. It robs minerals from the body. These things, these ingredients and different things that we think are important actually do more harm than anything else, because they actually deplete minerals that we have to have. The minerals are essential for life, and if we are depleting our minerals, we are setting ourselves up for disease and death, really. And I'm very confident when I say that. It's not just talking about. So let me recap. Natural such supplements are extracted from plants, animal tissues, different things like that. Semi-synthetic supplements are extracted from natural sources and chemically changed, like the iron, the very first picture she showed was the organic inorganic. The synthetic supplements, they're artificially produced right out of the laboratory. So all vitamins should be screened for impurities such as lead, mercury, pesticides, insecticides, and other toxic ingredients. I cannot, and I know Mary will stand right there with me, but we cannot express to you about the purity, the quality, and the potency of supplements that you choose to purchase. I myself will not use any other product other than Nature Sunshine. Well, that's not true. I do use other products, but my main source is Nature Sunshine. And like I said, I did over 5 years of studying, and I came up with a couple different companies, Nature Sunshine being one, and there was another company, but I also looked at affordability. So I looked at purity, quality, potency, and affordability, and I came up with Nature Sunshine. You can join, if you're not a member of Nature Sunshine, it's free. All you have to do is purchase $40 a year in good quality products. I had a client that he fought me for years and years. And I kept saying, you need to be using Nature Sunshine Liver Cleanse, because he was using other brands and stuff and just not getting the results. As soon as he started using the Liver Cleanse, within 30 days, he comes back to me. He goes, I wish I would have listened to you, a year or two ago, because he said this stuff's amazing. He is now majorly nothing. He uses nothing but Nature Sunshine for his animal too, his dogs. So
I think we should get a nickel for every time we said the word Nature Sunshine tonight from the company. We could retire.
Yeah, right. And it's just because it's one that's affordable to everyone. And I don't know about you, but I'm on a budget. I can't afford to go and spend $300 every month at the local health food store. I have to stay on my budget. And with Nature Sunshine, because I get member costs, I'm like you, Mary. As a naturopath, I think it's horrid for a naturopath to have any kind of retail supplements in there. But this is my personal thought. In their practice, I do not. I either have the stuff in my office or I set them up so it comes right to their door. And that's the benefit of it. And they get to earn points when they do that, so they get free product too.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so there you have it.
We should shut up now. Because
it's time to. Yep, we're 2 minutes over. So we want to thank you so much for being here with the Herbal Chat Hour. We're not sure. We haven't really talked about the next subject, but we'll post it here on Health and Harmony.
Or you can give suggestions.
Absolutely. Please ask questions. I'm watching here. There's nothing that's come up. I've been watching. So unless I missed something.
No, I meant suggestions for next,
Oh, yeah, suggestions would be great. So we just want to say good night to you, and we hope that you have a healthy and harmonious weekend, and we will see you here. We are here every second Wednesday of every month, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and we will post tonight's recording up here, and let us know if it's still choppy there. I'm going to say that it is. If you're coming across choppy, it's probably recording that way. We'll figure it out, and we'll continue. Just bear with us. This is our very first attempt at being Herbal Chat women. Our second class, but this is our first time of trying to do this Herbal Chat. But hang in there with us. We'll get it together, and we will fine tune it. You won't even know that there'll be no glitch here real soon. So enjoy your evening.
Night, everybody.
Is Dr. Victoria.
And Mary.
And we'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Okay, you there?
Yeah, did you already shut off the other one?
Yep.
Okay, I guess I should stop this. So before you go, can I ask you a question?